Hello, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are watching us. LinkedIn, it's an amazing tool to find people, to connect with people, to share some passions, some insights. And one of these days, I just found Ryan, who was a very enthusiastic guy about live streaming. We start talking. I love the way he's curious about things. He wants to try new things and everything. And we're going to talk in a while. Please stay tuned. He wants to try new things and everything. And we're going to talk in a while. Please stay. Hello again. Here I am, Marco Novo, to have the special marketing live show. This one is the first one from the 5th season. And today I'm going to have with me Ryan Swanstrom. He's on the basement. I left him there with a cookie and a glass of water. And why do I have Ryan here? Because I think it's the kind of people you want to meet on LinkedIn. It's a very curious guy. He likes to try new things. He's open to try things, to connect, to engage, and to learn, to teach also. And so I decided to bring him here because even I was guest at his show. And so I want to bring him because also I want him to share this experience he's having on live streaming. I go to the basement. Okay.
No, I'm so glad you let me out of the basement.
Wait. Okay, now.
Here we go. I'm glad you let me out of the basement. It's a dungeon down there.
Well, I left you a cookie.
Okay. Well, thank you. If only you would have left some milk to go with my cookie.
No, just water. I'm vegan. So, Ryan, thanks a lot for being here. It's a pleasure to have you. So first, please introduce yourself, and then let's chat a little about this, okay?
All right. My name is Ryan Swanstrom. I am from the middle of the United States in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Marco briefly mentioned we just kind of had a chance meeting on LinkedIn and kind of started messaging each other and got to know each other. My background, I am a technology person. So I've spent almost 20 years doing software engineering and data science type of stuff. About 8 years ago, I started a data science blog that got kind of popular, and it opened my eyes to the idea of you can reach people on the internet with if you do the right things and you have a little strategy about it. And I was really good on my blog in the early years, and I think it isn't as popular now. One of the things is I think I didn't transition well with moving from blogging to really highly engaging on social media and getting to video. And so the past, 2 or 3 years, I really wanted to do some live streaming and really dig into it and try it. And I just haven't done it. And so about a month and a half ago, I just decided I'm really going to do this. And so that's kind of why I tell people that live streaming is kind of my hobby now. And I'm trying to teach myself live streaming and getting better at it and just interacting. I find it fun. So I'm doing it. So back to you, Marco.
Perfect. So enthusiastic. Well, so you told that you started your online content presence with a blog. Why so?
Way back in 2012, I was a software engineer working at a big financial company, and I had a strong math background. So I liked math, but I didn't do a lot of it in the world of software engineering. I wanted to do more, and I started reading about this topic called data science. And what I found was there was a lot of this data science content distributed throughout the internet. There was a professor at Syracuse that wrote a decent book and had it free for download on PDF on their website. There was some software engineer out in San Francisco that was rewriting this. There was someone over in Europe who was running a boot camp trying to teach people these skills, but there was no central location for it. And so I started putting together a blog, and a lot of what I shared in the early days was, this is a blog for people who want to learn about this concept and this topic called data science. And here's some books. Here's a free book that I found, and here's a link to go download it. Here's my thoughts on what is the data science definition. Here's my thoughts on what people are calling big data. A lot of these buzzwords that people were throwing out, I talked about them. And then I would also do a little bit of just talking about, what are my thoughts on these? And here's great information that I found on the internet that I think falls in the category of data science, but people aren't calling it data science.
So I have to ask you something. By the way, please drop the blog, the links from the URL, so I can share it also, please. And a few minutes ago, you mentioned that you were learning about live streaming, learning, and you didn't make it. It was the same process with blogging, or you just went blogging and after you were learning something?
I don't know how to say this about blogging. Maybe here's the thing. So before I created a blog, I had tried a number of times to create some online websites doing various different things. I don't even remember what they were for, just some side projects, and nothing ever really caught on. And so when I got to the data science idea, I thought, I don't have to custom build my own website for this. I'm just going to go to WordPress and I'm going to set up a blog. And so here was the difference. So before, when I had set up all these side projects, I went out and I bought the domain name that matched up with it. I went out and got the Twitter handle, and I got a Facebook page set up for it. And I did a good job of getting all those things. When I got to my data science blog, I said to myself, I'm tired of setting all these things up, and then nobody logs or nobody finds this and nothing really catches on. So I didn't do it for my blog, and I called it Data Science 101. And I started it in February, and by June, I had already had 2 posts that had gone largely viral for me. And that was like, I don't know, 15, 25,000 hits in a day, which for somebody who had never blogged before, it was like one day my blog got 7 views and the next day it got 15,000. And I was like, wow, some people like this stuff. But one of the days, the second time it went viral, somebody else, a data science company, went out and latched up all the datascience101.com and the Data Science 101 Twitter handle and all those things. And I was kicking myself for not signing up and getting them earlier. But in the end, it really, your domain name isn't all that important all the time anymore. People just send out the links and you click to it from LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, and they're all shortened with a bit.ly link anyway. So people don't always see it. Absolutely. So it didn't end up being a big deal, but that's how I kind of got started. I had played around with creating my own custom built websites, and then I just decided to start a blog. I'm not even really a writer, which is what I like to tell people. I'm really not a writer. Most of my blog posts were 1 paragraph. They were really short.
So I think you made some searches on SEO, right?
Yes, back then. So when I was a software engineer, my day job was web development type of software engineering. And I had read up a lot on SEO. And when I started my blog, I read up a lot on data science or on SEO for WordPress. And so in the early days, it was really pretty good about the SEO. It was also a very niche topic at the time that not a lot of people were talking about. So it was, if you had good stuff, it was kind of easy to show up. And yeah, that's kind of how it came. I wrote short posts. I remember one day I was excited and I wrote I wrote a really long post. For me, it was probably 5 paragraphs. I wrote a long post, and 20 minutes after I posted, somebody put a comment and said, "Oh, wow, this is the longest post I've ever seen on this blog." So they were really excited about the fact that I wrote more than 1 paragraph.
So funny. So I think after that, or meanwhile, you were on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, I've been on LinkedIn since 2007 or 8. A long time ago, I was on LinkedIn, but this is what I would say about LinkedIn. For the first 10 years that I was on LinkedIn, it largely wasn't highly utilized. And I don't know if you have this experience. Somewhere around 2016 and 17, and I think it was after Microsoft bought it out, or maybe it was right before Microsoft bought it out. I don't remember. Sometime in the 2016-17 years, I started noticing my engagement on LinkedIn was better than my engagement on some of the other social networks. And so that's why for the last few years, LinkedIn has probably been the primary social network that I've used, and I like it. And I'm not hugely famous and popular on LinkedIn like some of those. I know there's people that got 100,000 connections and all that. I'm not that, but I have a smaller group, but I enjoy it. I get feedback and comments and stuff on what I share, and there's community around it, and I get to meet people like you. And I actually starting a live stream, I've just met a number of people that I otherwise would not have met. And I was just telling my wife the other day, I said, this whole live streaming thing, I'm meeting people that do not tech stuff for their careers. They're not all programmers or data scientists. So I'm finding that interesting.
Absolutely. So how did you start it? Because there's you already made some live streams before LinkedIn Live, or you started on LinkedIn Live?
All right. So here, we'll go back to this. So I had the data science blog and I had a Facebook page. And in 2017, I think it was 2017, LinkedIn released native video, not live video.
Yeah, absolutely.
The ability to upload videos.
Up to 10 minutes.
And I, for whatever reason, I got access to it earlier than everybody else got access to it. I don't know if I was one of the first, but they had a number of beta phases, and I got in one of the beta phases before it was open to the public. And I remember I made a video, and I don't even know what it was talking about now. But I remember I made a video, like a 2-second video. I think I told a story. Actually, I think I told a story about the bread store down the street. So we had a bread store down the street, and one day I went in there and asked them about their bread, and the lady just told me it's plain white bread. And I think I left the store, and then I made a video and I said, if you're going to run a bread store and charge me, 5 times the price for a loaf of bread that I can walk across the street at the grocery store and buy it, don't just tell me it's plain white bread. Tell me it's honey flavored bread that goes delicious with your peanut butter sandwiches or something. Like, talk your bread up, make it good. And I remember I made this video and people really liked it because I think it was one of the first videos they'd ever seen on LinkedIn. And what I noticed was when I ran into people in real life, they commented on it. They were like, hey, Ryan, I saw your LinkedIn video. Or, hey, Ryan, I went to a bread store and I asked them about their plain white bread. And it spurred conversations outside of LinkedIn, which had never happened with me before. But I only made like 5 videos. And then whatever reason, I just kind of quit. But I had tried some videos there. I think I've made 2 live videos on Facebook before a month and a half ago. So I had played around a little bit with video and tried just a couple of lives, but I'd never really gotten serious about here's how I want to try this.
So you got LinkedIn Live, and then
yeah. And so and last fall, I got invited to a LinkedIn content creators group. There was some product managers at LinkedIn that somehow looked at an algorithm and said, let's find some people with a couple thousand connections that are actively using LinkedIn, and let's invite them to a group and tell them about some of the new features we're launching and see if we can get them access. So they talked about LinkedIn newsletters, and they would let us get access to create a newsletter or to do LinkedIn Lives. And they told us about events because at the time they hadn't been launched yet. And so I said, sure, how about you give me access to LinkedIn Live? And so they gave me access to LinkedIn Live in December sometime, but I didn't do anything with it for about a month and a half. And when coronavirus hit, and largely the world kind of started shutting down and people were home watching videos, I said, this is probably the time that I should start making live videos. I should just stop like talking about it and I should start doing it. So I reached out to 5 or 6 people on LinkedIn and I said, hey, I have LinkedIn Live access. Would you like to do a live with me to just talk about LinkedIn or to talk about coronavirus or whatever you want to talk to? And to my surprise, almost everybody said yes. They're like, sure, when can we schedule that? I'm free next week. Maybe it's because coronavirus and people had more flexible schedules. I don't know, but they almost all said yes. And so I tried it and I was like, this is really kind of fun. I like this. I use it as an excuse to meet and talk with interesting people and to sort of just share that with others that want to learn about it. So it all kind of just started with, I thought about it for a really long time and I finally realized I just have to do this and set it to a format. And the first week I did it, I recorded, I think I did 5 videos the first week. I did 5 lives. And I would advise people, that's not the greatest way to go about it. I suppose it kind of just forces you to jump in the cold pool and you just got to deal with it. But that's why I've since then, I've kind of cut mine down. I do 1 live stream a week on Friday mornings. And I just do that because it's kind of my hobby right now. So I have other things going on in life and it takes time and effort. And I realized if I did it too much, I would just overwhelm myself and then I would quit. So I said, I'm going to just try once a week and just play around with what things do I like? What do I not like? How do you do a good job doing interviews with people? What kind of questions do you ask them? How do you promote stuff? And so that's why I went from 5 that first week. I think I took a week off because I had to figure out how to do the next one. And then, And so I've been doing that for a couple of weeks. And I think the cadence of 1 a week is going to work for me because it's not overwhelming. And I'm going to learn some things along the way as I go.
Perfect. So one question, before starting, let's do that famous meme, before expectations, reality. What were your expectations about live streaming and the reality? Tell me. Tell us.
Oh, I don't even know if I have some great ones on this. I mean, this is a tough question. Maybe I would say this. You have to put out effort to get the audience to interact, especially when you don't have a large audience. Like I don't have 1 million people that tune into my live streams. I'm happy if I can get 6 people to show up at the same time. And here's another one that I didn't really realize at first, but now I do. People don't show up and watch the whole live stream. They don't. I mean, people's lives are busy. They have other things going on. But so you have to remember that someone, like right now, somebody could just be joining this live stream. And Marco, you and I are talking about what it's like starting a live stream. It's different. So I think remembering that at any point in your show, someone can just be jumping on and jumping off. Sometimes I think people scheduled to sit down and watch them, but a lot of times, especially on a place like LinkedIn, when a video pops up and they're live, I click on them and I'll watch for 5 or 6 minutes. And then, somebody calls me upstairs and like, hey, it's lunchtime and you got to stop. So that's kind of the big one for me, is realizing people don't watch the whole thing to do that. It's also one of the reasons why when I'm done with the live stream, I like to go through and try to pull out short little snippets, is what I call them, of good answers or nice quotes, or 60, 90 seconds of this person said something really interesting, because a lot of people won't watch the whole thing and they'll miss it. And there's great content that gets dropped in the middle of a live stream that's really hard to find otherwise. So I found if I can cut them out and then take those short videos and I put them on LinkedIn, they do better and people watch them. And a lot of times they draw engagement from people.
Absolutely. It's nice. I made this question because the first reason the two reasons I felt in love with live stream was it was for me easy to create content, and because I needed to create content. But for instance, I didn't know I will meet so many people all around the world. How you can learn, for instance, with your guests, because it's huge. And
yes,
most of the time I put my own doubts, my own questions to them.
Yeah.
It's a nice opportunity for you to take advantage of being with someone who's an expert in something, and ask him or her. It's amazing how you make friends, for instance. It's amazing also how you find crazy people who engage with you. Okay, let's do this. Let's go. For instance, yesterday I had a guest. You should reach him out also. Stephen Healy. Watch the live I made yesterday. And we were trying on Restream some new things. Let's try. Let's go.
Yeah, when you live stream, here's maybe a different expectation. When you live stream, there's a lot of things you can't do unless you go live.
Absolutely.
And so when you have to practice things somehow. That's maybe one that it really wasn't obvious at first. If you want to invite and do a live interview show with a guest, you can't really practice it just like it's going to be real. You have to just go live. And so, everybody's first live stream, it starts like this. Am I on? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Where am I? Is this working? I mean, that's everybody's first live stream. Everyone in the world who live streams should put up their first 30 seconds of their first video, and we just make it, because that's what happens. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Because you don't know what to do. And StreamYard makes it super easy to do this. But still, the first time you hit that go live button, you don't know what to expect. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and also people don't jump on. It's not like a YouTube video where when you click on the link, you go to the YouTube video, you start at the beginning. When you go live, everybody doesn't jump on right away. They might jump on 15 minutes into it, and it's hard to do this in a show. Like, we did our introductions at the beginning of this live stream. So if somebody jumped on right now, they have no idea who Ryan Swanstrom is. Like, who's this guy? This guy with a big silver microphone.
Absolutely.
So they don't know, and it's different, but it's a little bit more fun because it's real.
Absolutely.
And, things could happen. I have kids; they could come into the room and say hi. I mean, I've done a number of live streams where, the sound cuts out and somebody has to drop out and connect it. It happens. And I think it's one of my favorite things that's come out of coronavirus is the reality that everybody actually has real lives. Nobody's life is all perfect all the time. We work from home a lot now, and people have families and kids that show up in their videos, and they don't all have wonderful, amazing studios to do their video. It's just different. And I think it's one of my favorite things of live video that's showed up in the last 2 months is we've gotten a glimpse into other people's lives, and especially famous celebrity people, they're real people like the rest of us. They all have a house. A lot of them, they're married. They have kids that run crazy in their house, just like all the rest of us do. And yeah, everybody else's house isn't perfectly clean. And, we kind of like that because I don't know. It's just, it brings out a little bit more real life of everybody.
Yeah, and also one thing, I think you agree with me. Before we start, we think that we have to have so many things: a complex webcam, expensive microphone, lights, everything. We just get scared because, oh my God, it is so expensive, so complex, so hard to manage everything. But at the end, is it the truth?
I have a lot to say on this one.
Okay,
so when
perfect.
I mentioned when I made my first 5 videos back in 2017. I probably spent the next 2 years trying to figure out how do I get the perfect video set up at my house with something neat in the background and perfect lighting. And I bought myself a green screen, and that didn't really work very well. And I went out and I tried to set up these lights and everything, and it never really seemed to help me. And then I got to a point where I was like, I think I can do this, but I would spend an hour and a half trying to set up the lights and to set up the camera and to get everything so that everything looked and that there wasn't any glare on my glasses. And now I really don't care as much. There's oftentimes glare on my glasses, but I spent so much time worrying about how to get it all perfect, and it just never comes out to be perfect. And so, like right now, we talked about this when you were on my stream. I have a Logitech C920 camera.
Me too. We have the same set.
It's like $60.
Yeah,
and it's not super fancy, but it shoots 1080p and it sits on top of my screen and it works pretty nice. I mean, I don't have theater production level quality in my video here, but we're just having an interview. I don't know that you need cinematic theater, I don't know. There's no spaceships flying around behind me. There's nothing blowing up. It's just a guy standing here talking on a camera. And then I have a microphone, but I've had the microphone for years and I didn't go get a different one. I just use it because it works.
Absolutely. Yours is, but I have the same. Yours is silver.
Yeah, you got one of those fancy covers for it. I don't even know what those things are.
It's good because when you say "p" and it filters the sound.
Right.
Okay. It's the name is pop filter because when you say P and T mostly, they does the "p" and it filters. They
All
say
right.
it.
But see, like that's another thing. You can spend years trying to get your home setup perfect and amazing so that everything's going to work. But the real truth is I don't think people watch the live streams because the camera is great. I think they watch the live streams because for a couple of reasons. One, the person on the show or the people that are there are entertaining, and whether they're funny or whether they just have great, useful insight. So like they watch for the people, they watch because the topic is something they want to learn about. Or like the third case is sometimes you watch just about famous people because you want to see what their life is in the background. There's probably other reasons, but I don't know that I've ever tuned into a live stream because I've been, oh, I hear Marco's got this awesome new camera. It's going to make the live stream way better.
Absolutely.
It might. I mean, it might make your live stream better, but it's not going to change the fact that Marco is still Marco. And, you're fun to talk to. And it's you got a pretty laid back show here. We just have a conversation and it's fun and it's nice. Another thing I have lights in my room and I'm going to try to move my camera.
Okay.
Above me, I have ceiling lights, but they shined too brightly on me. So I came up with the world's greatest hack on this. So you can't really see that.
Oh, I see.
I
White
took,
papers.
yeah, I took just, regular white paper, and I taped it and hung it from the ceiling, and it cuts down a little bit of that light. And I mean, that's the cheapest, quickest hack I've come up with to just make my lights be a little bit softer in my room.
Well, perfect. Perfect.
So there's the behind the scenes look of crazy things to do. So my kids have come into my room before and they said, "Why do you have paper hanging from the ceiling?"
To take some notes from heaven.
It helps. It helps a lot. And this one is kind of challenging, especially when you're getting started. It helps a lot that if you want to do live streaming a lot, to have a place that you can just quickly go live from. So you can't see my whole room, but like, this is my desk that I'm standing at. And like, it's where I work when I'm normally doing my work, and it's a sit-stand desk, and the camera just sits on top. But if I want to go live, or like the show with you, I don't really have to rearrange much of anything. I just kind of turn on my camera and I can go. And so that's kind of one of the things. If you always have to set up to go live, like if you have to set up in a different room, and I tried to do some upstairs in my living room because there's a big window and it's got a little bit nicer light in it, and it maybe makes a better, background. It makes a better scene, but it takes an hour to set the thing up. and really, if you have to do that, you're not going to live stream. So part of it is lower your expectations of, you want everything to look perfect, and just set it up so that it's simple, so that you can click and go. And that's one of the things I've kind of gotten over, is it's not always going to be perfect. It's okay if the lighting on my face is not amazing. I'm not that good looking anyways. I don't think anybody's watching to check out on Ryan's amazing new skin moisturizer. I mean, I don't do that.
Absolutely. Well, there's I think you nailed it when you said, don't wait to be perfect. Don't wait because when I started, I don't know if you saw the video I posted last week. I think it was the first one I recorded with my phone on portrait.
I didn't. No.
Oh my God, it's so awful. And one of the things good is when you look backward and you say, oh my God, how awful I was, but it was my start. And that's, it's when you start that you start figuring out what you can change, how you can improve, and everything. You start also to get your own voice. I mean, to see how you feel more comfortable, how things work better for you. Because one risk you can take is, for instance, and I've heard about this a couple of times. Someone spent lots of money in equipment, cameras, and everything, and then it doesn't do anything. Because one thing that expensive equipment will do to you, it's that it will raise your expectations.
Yes.
So it's tricky. And one of the things I think, another one we agree, is we forget about ifs. Because one day I was doing a training to trainers. I do training to people who wants to be a trainer, and whatever field it is. And I was talking about live streaming. Look, and then one of the kids, he was like this. Oh, I think he was seeing himself doing live streaming or something, and he started. Oh, Marco, okay. And if someone, and if all the problems and challenges you can imagine. And I think you have that good thing. You don't think too much about ifs, right?
I have been known to overthink a lot of things in my life, but I just had to do it. You just got to go live. Like you said, if you buy a lot of fancy equipment, you might go live and realize you really don't like it. And so
Yeah.
then you spent a whole bunch of money and you didn't like it. But another thing, and there's a number of popular YouTubers that talk about this. They say, just start doing this, start creating videos or live videos, because at the beginning, there's not a lot of people that are going to watch you. I mean, it's mostly going to be close friends or somebody's maybe interested in the topic, but I'm not a famous celebrity. Like when I have a live stream, 100,000 people are not going to show up. But those people that have 100,000 people that show up for a live, they all started somewhere. The big difference is they just started 5-10 years ago and did this. And like I talk about this a lot with my kids and Ninja, the game streamer, the Fortnite streamer. He was doing live videos for a long time and live streaming of games before Fortnite came out. And so when Fortnite came out, it was kind of his opportunity to jump on a new game, but he had already practiced a lot of live streaming and he kind of just exploded because he had put in the time and the practice. And when something new came along, he was ready for it. And he blew up pretty big. I don't know how big he was before Fortnite, but I know since Fortnite came out, he's like the number one the number one name in live stream gaming. So.
Okay, perfect. We have a comment. Hello, Lottie. Good to have you here. Hey, Marco and Ryan. Great to see you on the screen. And now you'll be sharing loads of marketing zing ideas, learnings, and laughs. Yeah, but today it's about Ryan's ideas.
We're trying. I've got lots of ideas. Hey, here's another thing, just because I get excited about these things. So you probably don't know this. Microsoft Build, it's their big conference for developers, just happened this week. And one of their big announcements was they're launching learn.tv. And it's an entire site, I believe. It's like a TV station where they're going to have live learnings and some recorded videos. I just thought this whole idea of live video, big companies like Microsoft are starting to get into the idea that they need to have some lives, and audience and people like to tune in to live videos, whether it's to learn something or to just connect with these. There's a connection. Like people who are watching this probably feel a little bit of a connection to Marco and I. They get an understanding of what Ryan's personality is like and what Marco's personality is like. Ryan's just kind of all over the place, but they get to feel like they know us. And it's different. Has this ever happened to you? So I have been out in the world and talking to other people. And I remember I was talking to somebody one time and they knew all about me. and I remember I said, how do you know all this stuff about me? Like they knew how many kids I had. I think they knew my wife's name. They knew where I lived, where I went to college. I said, how do you know all this about me? And he said, oh, I just read about you on the internet and I've seen your stuff. He said, I guess that's what happens. So other people feel like they know you because you're on a live video or because you're on the internet a lot. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's
what it is.
Video in general makes a connection with people that I think they don't get from a text post.
Absolutely. One thing funny who happened with me. I think you have I think you're a tall guy, right?
I'm 6 foot tall, so I don't know what that is in the metric system.
Let me see.
I'm above average world height. I'm not basketball player tall. Are you trying to convert 6 feet to meters?
Yeah, let me see.
It's probably just under 2 meters.
I think it's 183 in metrics. I think. But
yeah, 1.83 meters.
Okay. I'm a little taller. I'm 188. So
all right, so you're
one thing happened is people, oh, I thought you were a little smaller. and
Yeah, that's probably true. You have no idea what people.
yeah, because we
You
are
only see the top half of their
yeah,
body.
we are sitting. I'm sitting. I think you're on.
I'm gonna step back. See, now
Okay.
I can stand on my chair back there and get
Yeah.
my whole body on the screen. But
That's funny. And yeah, I also once I was in Spain in a congress, and some uh, a girl started looking at me. Maybe she recognizes my voice. You're Marco, right? And I had my T-shirt with my logo, and I said, look, it seems. Oh, I see your videos and everything, and I said, my God, I'm getting fame.
yeah, it's it's not. I've heard it said before that we are all famous to 15 people in the world, and it's fun when you get to meet one of those 15 people. It is totally an ego boost if you get to meet one of those 15 people that thinks you're famous. So yeah.
Well, Lottie has some new comments. Not a lot of people going to watch you, and she talks about something that's happening on Facebook. Well, I think there are two things about social media by these days. Facebook, for sure, it's lowering the organic reach mostly to pages. That's one thing. And the other thing is when you have so many people watching or doing live streaming, it spreads the audience in the different broadcasters. And that's one thing, because before this, we just have competition with some small companies, professionals, most of them like this us. But now we have musicians, we have comedians competing with us. We don't have any chance.
Yeah.
For instance, I think it was last week, a Portuguese comedian made a live, and he almost got 200,000 people together watching him. Look, we are 10 million people. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's why I said famous people can sort of show up and do these things, but what you don't know and you don't see is most of these famous people have spent years practicing and honing their craft at whatever it is that they do. Like this musician, I'm guessing this is not the first time the musician ever played their instruments. It's not.
He's a comedian. He's a comedian.
Oh, he's a comedian.
Yeah, he started, and that's the point. Some gurus or I don't like this scientific approach to this kind of things, because it doesn't happen by spontaneously. It has a path. You can, for instance, we can say, some were saying, oh, the companies should look at this and try to figure out and how it can replicate it on their business. They can't, because that's not their businesses. It's like, look at you two. Look, they have millions of people following them. Do the same and they will get followers and buyers. It's not the same, for God's sake.
No, yeah, and like the comedian, similar to live streaming, it's a lot harder to go find the comedian's first gig. Like there was probably 20 people in the bar where he did his first stand-up comedy gig, and maybe it wasn't good. It probably was kind of good, and people realized this guy or this gal is funny. There's potential there, but it probably wasn't the best show ever.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing. Like with live streaming, when you go live, my first shows aren't going to be the best shows ever. And if I really like it and I really stick with it and audience connects, maybe someday I'll have lots of people that tune in. Maybe I won't. If I don't, no big deal. I like to do it. And it's interesting and it's fun to me. But you probably you or I would be like blown away if 100,000 people showed up to our live stream.
Absolutely.
I think I'd quit. honestly, if 100,000 people showed up, I wouldn't know what to do. There'd be so many comments flying through, you wouldn't be able to keep up. It's one of the things with a smaller audience that kind of helps a bit, because when you're new and you start out, it becomes a little bit of a challenge to, talk to the screen, pay attention to the other person that's on with you, and check somewhere else for comments. And it's kind of nice when there's not a ton of comments coming in all the time, that you don't always have to be paying attention to that. Absolutely. So I don't know if these famous people that do it, do they have a team that comes with them and somebody else follows and watches comments? I don't know. I don't have a team. I don't need a team to do that.
Well, that's one point. And the other one, I think, to the viewers, they are more open to not have any answer. I think the expectations, it's hopefully they will answer.
Yeah.
That's the point. Well, Lottie says, Ryan says Microsoft Build are launching Learn TV. Oh, we know life is the best action-based learning. Call it next general learning for years. Thanks for update, Ryan. Off to livestock you now. Lottie is also, please follow her, because she could be an amazing guest for you. We got the tall guys on screen. Love you standing, Ryan, all famous to 15 people in the world. Great quote. By the way, I think it's NBC. It's also coming with a live streaming platform. I don't know if you know something. I made a search and it's there, but it's not available to Portugal. Maybe to you can.
Maybe. Oh, I was curious about this when TV started. When things like the late night show and news stations started to happen from people's houses, I wondered if the TV shows were going to keep this as maybe not an everyday thing, but occasionally the hosts and the TV anchors would do this from their house, because I think people like it. I think it just it's a little different. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're like, hey, the late night host is sitting in their house at home. It's different. Any second, their child could jump on top of their head, or somebody walks by the window behind them, and it's just different. It's fun and it's interesting. So that's kind of cool that NBC is maybe going to set up more lives. But
I think I'm not sure, but please check it out. Because I think it will be available for you. I think they will have his own live stream platform.
Nice.
I think there's something about it. Please check, and then
I will have to check this out.
Yeah,
maybe this is their way to vet out new late night hosts. They're gonna let everybody else start a show and put it on NBC Live, and the one who becomes famous, you can win out.
But maybe they are willing to do something about it, because something is happening there.
I think coronavirus has brought out the fact that live streams, people kind of like them. Like I've been saying this for years. So I don't know how long you've used something like Skype, but Skype, the video calling technology, I think I did my first Skype with someone on the other side of someone in Europe. I did my first one in like 2008 or 9. So over 10 years ago. And I remember, and even now when I join these, it blows my mind to think about, I can do a video call with Marco. He's on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. You're like a third of the way around the globe. And we can have this conversation. And I just think, how in the world, how does that happen? But I used to think in 2008, 9, 10, 11, I used to think we all have the capability to video call people all the time, and nobody uses it. And when coronavirus hit, Zoom became the chosen technology that the world loved. And it felt to me like the world discovered video calling. it really wasn't new, but people just had not used it before. And it went from only a few select people in the tech community use video calling to now everybody in the world can do it. Grandmas, grandpas, kids, preschools, parents, families, friends, they do video calling. Like a few weeks back, we did a video calling game. We video called another family and we played a virtual game while we were just on different screens, and it's just kind of fun. It's things we could have done 6 months ago, but nobody had ever really thought about it. Nobody had ever tried it.
Absolutely. Okay, let me see. Skype and iJot video, total early days. Have you got Facebook Messenger rooms? Yes, yes, I do. And you? Do you have
Facebook Messenger
rooms?
I have no idea. Not gonna lie, I am not a Facebook expert. I don't really use it a whole lot.
I'll show you.
I maybe have it, but I don't really know.
I'll show you what it is.
See, I get to learn new things on these shows.
Okay, I have some crazy stories here. There's this button here.
All right.
Starting, well, it's on Portuguese, it's starting a room.
All right, and then you can, you bring a bunch of video people into a room?
It's Facebook Zoom.
Facebook Zoom. All right. Yeah, it kind of like Google Meet. Google Meet is a similar type thing, I believe.
I think you can have up to 50 people together.
Nice.
Yeah. I think one day we can make a meeting there with live streams all around the world.
Yeah.
So let me just got in Ireland, great for friends, training groups, but not for live, as can't grow an audience. We can only invite current friends. Okay. Yeah. It's trying to replace Zoom. But for instance, you can try it to some gathering and talk with, for instance, to make a workshop or something with room or some more intimacy logic, I think. So,
right.
Your biggest takeaways on live stream, let me know. Let us know.
Biggest takeaways.
Yeah.
Wherever you can go live, try it. Whatever tools, technology, if all you've got is your phone, just try one and turn the thing on and see if people like it. And realistically, you might only get a couple people that tune in, and that's okay, but try it. But do not go spend hundreds of thousands of dollars buying all this stuff so that you can have the perfect setup before you go live. And then I would also add, I think going into the future and in the next 2, 3, 4 years, I think many, many companies are going to start producing live weekly shows and starting to do that because it is a new, unique way to engage with audiences. And I think we will see it. And the first one I noticed was Microsoft Build this week, because I pay attention to the tech community, announced that's what they're going to do. They're going to have some live shows on their, learn.tv. So that was kind of neat. And I think we're going to see a lot of that from other companies as well. I can see it in the training space. It seems just to make total sense to do this for training videos. It does this it makes sense. Think of a local toy store. I mean, you can do a live video every week. Open the new boxes of toys that you got in your shipment this week. Talk about what's at your store. Maybe play with some of the toys. You're a bookstore. I mean, you can read some things online. I think there's endless possibilities, but don't overthink it. Just try it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Ryan. Perfect. We are almost done. Now it's time to the suggestions of the guest. As usual, I will ask you one book, some professional, a kind of shout out that people should follow, a habit you have, which should be healthy and legal, a tool, a movie, and a series.
Oh, well, I'm going to go get my book first.
Okay, perfect.
You're losing me. I'm still here. Still here. I'm back. I don't remember if there was a lot of questions here, Marco. You're going to have to repeat them to me.
Okay.
So right here.
Okay, perfect.
This book, I just did a live with the author of this book last weekend. I think Marco maybe is going to have her on his show, but it's just the latest book I've read. Yeah. And it's just a fantastic book for people that like to create content on the internet. It's not specific to live streaming. I think her background is she's more of a writer or an author type of person, but it's just a really good book. I thought it just laid things out really nice. So that's a good one. What were your other questions? There was a lot of them, Marco.
A professional to follow.
Wow.
An expert.
These are hard questions here. Sean Cannell, he's kind of a big famous one. I don't know. Do you ever follow him, Marco?
No, I will.
He is Sean.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah, he makes videos. He's an online video guy. He just makes really, really good content.
He's the one who has that fancy microphone, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. He has a lot of videos, but he does camera reviews. He does tips for how to make better videos and build your YouTube. He wrote the book YouTube Secrets.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
Yeah, he just has some good stuff. I wish he's kind of already big and famous. Like he's got thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of followers. I wish on the spot I could think of someone that was not.
Is this one right?
Yeah.
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 He's got good stuff.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I like
absolutely. Him. Absolutely. Habit.
A habit? I bite my nails.
No.
So I do that.
A good one, please.
You want a good habit?
Yeah.
Oh. I wish this was more of a habit, but I try to run a couple of times a week. So even like today before your show, I was about an hour and 15 minutes before the show started. And I hadn't got my run in for the last couple of days. And so I said, I'm just going to go run and quickly come back and take a shower. So I'm not a fitness guru by any means, but that's it.
Okay.
Other than that, I mean, I eat 3 meals a day. So that's a habit that I do.
Okay. A tool.
All right. So here's a good one. So I do this when I'm on LinkedIn and I cut out video clips, or if I just record myself, I love to add captions to the videos. So this is a tip. If you're adding videos, especially to a platform like LinkedIn or even Instagram, because a lot of people scroll through these and they don't turn on the sound.
Absolutely.
So put captions. I use a tool called Zubtitle, 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 to add those captions in there. I think it does the best job of transcribing my voice and getting as close to possible as what I said. I tried some other tools and I don't know what it is. I mean, my voice is a little deeper and kind of scratchy. And I just found that tool for my voice did a really good job of pulling out exactly what I was saying, so that when I would upload a video and it would transcribe it, I had to spend less time going through and fixing the words that it thought I said.
I think it's iOS, right?
No, it's a browser based.
Oh, perfect, perfect, perfect. I, I will check it out. Thank you. Very useful.
Oh, ZUB. See here, I can throw a comment out onto the LinkedIn comments. Yeah, so that's a tool that I use. There, yeah, there are a number of tools. That's just one that I use, and I actually pay for it because you have to pay every
Okay,
month for it. But yeah, so that's it.
perfect. A movie?
A movie. You know, I'm not a huge movie fan, but I will tell you this is a full confession of mine live on the internet. I don't know if in Portugal you get the Hallmark channel. Do you get the Hallmark TV channel?
No.
All right.
Netflix and Prime.
All right. I love Hallmark Christmas movies. And they are like I can kind of explain these. They are very predictable and cheesy love stories. So a lot of it is based around the fact of, somebody grew up and they moved away to the big city for a job, and then Christmas time came and they had to come back and see their mom, and then they stay at their mom's house for 2 weeks and find out that they love it, and they run into their high school boyfriend, and then they fall in love, and the movie ends happily ever after. And I'm a sucker. I totally love the Hallmark Christmas movies, and I don't know what it is about them. I get a kick out of them. So I've seen many of those.
Perfect. And
So,
now
there you go. That's Ryan for you. Ryan likes these really really predictable love stories.
a series.
A series,
Yeah.
like a TV series.
Yeah.
I have not seen a TV series in years.
Oh, really?
But since coronavirus started, my family has started to watch Wheel of Fortune.
Okay.
So I guess that counts as the closest thing I get to a TV series. We've watched a lot of Wheel of Fortune. It usually comes on right after dinner, and so some of my older kids and my wife, we like to watch Wheel of Fortune.
Okay. So thank you, Ryan. Time to wrap up. It was a pleasure. It was really fun this moment.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I enjoy these things.
Okay, perfect. That's one day people ask me, "Oh, how do you measure the success of your live streaming?" And I say, at the end, if I feel happy, if I feel I had fun, it was a success.
Yeah, and I will jump on this because I'm a data scientist mind, and I think about this a lot, and I don't know. I really haven't come up with a great way to like quantify and put numbers behind what's working and what's not. And that's probably something that in the years to come, the live streaming world will start creating some different and better metrics to track
Absolutely.
that. But yeah, it's a good one. If you had a good time and you enjoyed yourself, maybe you learned something new, got to talk to
Yeah,
someone.
yeah, absolutely.
Win.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what happens today. So Ryan, thank you so much.
Hey.
How can people find you on internet?
Oh, on the internet. My name. You can see my name right at the bottom of the screen. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm probably on Facebook. Don't connect with me on Facebook. I don't ever use it. LinkedIn is probably the best place to reach out and connect with me. LinkedIn. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter as well. You can also find me there. So if you use those, but yeah, LinkedIn is where I've decided to spend most of my time. It's just because, like everybody, we have things going on in our lives, and I decided that was just the platform that I want to spend the most time on. So I occasionally pop into Instagram and Twitter, and so if you connect with me there, you'll find me. But LinkedIn is where I spend the most of my time.
Oh, perfect. So thank you, Ryan. It was an amazing time we spent here. Thank you to all of those who are watching us. Please stay tuned because we'll be back soon.
My 4-year-old just walked in over here on the screen. You want to say hi to YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, come say hi.
Oh, hello.
Marco.
Hello. So sweet.
All right. I think we're done, though.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Marco, for having me
You're
on the
welcome.
show.
Thank you. Bye bye. See you.
Have a great day. Goodbye.